Now, as an athlete, there is one thing you want once you make a couple $1,000,000. Some nice cars, some jewelry, but most importantly, a great house. MLB players make a ton of money and normally like spending that money on buying expensive needs. That's what a typical MLB player would do. But Daniel Norris is quite the opposite. Norris has been playing in Major League Baseball for 9 years, and throughout his entire career, he's been living in a van. And it's not like Norris didn't have the money to buy a nice home. No, Norris is a millionaire, and instead of living in a house, he would rather eat, sleep, and live in a van. How is everybody doing today? It's Sports Hall back with another video, and today I would like you all to meet Daniel Norris, the MLB player who lives in a van. Let's not waste any time, and let's get straight into it. Daniel Norris was drafted in the second round of the 2011 MLB draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. Norris showed a ton of potential to the Blue Jays back in 2014 when he went 12-2 with a 2.53 ERA and 163 strikeouts. His performance got his team highly interested in calling him up. In 2015, Daniel Norris played his first full season in the MLB, and this was where his team found out that Norris was sleeping in a 1978 Volkswagen nicknamed Shaggy. Norris would park the van at a Walmart parking lot and just sleep there for the night. When Norris first parked his van, his pitching coach literally asked what that old van was doing in the parking lot. The part that really shocked me though was when Daniel Norris wanted to do his workouts, such as pull-ups. Instead of doing them at a gym or something like that, he would do them on a Walmart pickup sign. He'd do as many as he could before he would get kicked out. Many of his teammates believed his lifestyle was a horrible idea, as at some point he couldn't keep up with it. But that was not the case in any way. The Blue Jays assistant GM, Tony LaCava, once said, quote, "He takes care of himself as well as anybody we've got. He's in great shape. He competes on the mound. If that wasn't the case, maybe we'd be more worried about some of the other stuff. But right now, the van and all that is secondary. He has great values, and they're working for him." While Norris loved his lifestyle, he was also playing some pretty good baseball. In 2016, he went 4-2 with a 3.38 ERA and had 71 strikeouts. As for his pitching repertoire, Norris threw a fastball and a two-seamer that could go up to 96 miles per hour, a slider and circle change that could go up to 85 on the gun, but best of all, a nasty curveball, registering at around 70 miles per hour. Norris has had the same pitching repertoire since his senior year in high school, and it seemed to have worked just fine for him, until 2017. Norris was traded mid-season to the Tigers back in 2015, and things went well for the most part. However, 2017 was quite the opposite. He went 5-8 with a 5.31 ERA in 101 innings pitched. When Norris was asked why his performance was so flawed, he said it had to do with him returning from the injured list too soon. Norris was dealing with hip and quadricep injuries throughout the season, so that could have very well thrown him off. Things only got worse the following season. He went 0-5 with a 5.68 ERA and 51 strikeouts. Norris would suffer a groin tightness injury that would later turn into having surgery, and that caused for him to go on the 60-day IL. Norris continued struggling, and it didn't seem like things would get better. Now let's quickly return to the van. So let me answer the question. Why is it that a millionaire athlete would rather sleep in a 1970s van than a nice home? Well, the thing is, there isn't any sort of story to it. Back in 2015, Norris was interviewed by Vice Sports on why he does this. He said there isn't any big reason, and it's just the fact that when he first got the van, he loved it and knew this is how he wanted to live the rest of his life. Norris is an extremely adventurous man, to the point he tries not to get a full tank of gas because he knows it will make him go on a long journey. Norris is not only amazing for the van, but also because of how nice of a person he is. The bad part about living in a van is you really don't have a roommate or anyone to talk to. He says he gets to learn a lot about himself. The way he makes up for his loneliness is not just with his teammates, but also with complete strangers. Apparently, Norris doesn't only practice with MLB players, but also people he doesn't even know. Now, if you take a look at Daniel Norris today, he is in his 9th year of baseball at age 29, playing for the Chicago Cubs, and is still living in his van. Norris mentioned in that interview that just because he owns a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean he needs to own nice things. Norris is a man who is in love with nature, as he loves going to the forest and loves surfing. I think we can all take a page out of Norris's book. He's showed us that although he can very well buy himself a mansion and expensive jewelry and live that lifestyle, he doesn't need it and loves sticking with what he's got and what he's had his whole life. The man has said that his van is so old it takes a few minutes for it to start moving. He says you must be patient with it. Key word, patient. I'm not sure what made him so patient, but if I had to take a guess, I would say baseball, because baseball is all about being patient, and I wouldn't be surprised if Norris tried using that patience for other things in life. I believe Norris should be appreciated not just for his game, but also for how genuine of a man he is. I wouldn't be surprised if 20 years from now, he will still be driving his amazing van, Shaggy. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, please consider to leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. I'm out.